You are listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole. My co-host Ray Jeezy's out. What's going on, folks? Man, I'm excited, man. It's been an exciting week for me, man. I did some Commanders reporting. Haven't done that in a while, so I got back in the saddle. So it was cool. Got to see a familiar face who's going to be a guest on this show. But also, I talked about the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. We are also on Amplifier Media, which you can check our content out there at www.amplifier.com. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Make sure you subscribe to the Urban Sports and YouTube channel as well. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that red subscribe button and like this video. We're trying to get to 800, so we're getting there. So 800 subscriptions. We started this YouTube channel kind of slow in the game, but now it's starting to grow. So come on, jump on the bandwagon and get us to 800. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG at Urban Sports Scene and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Make sure also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, man, let's get into our tradition, the pregame. Here's what we have on tap. We're going to talk about the 6 days of Washington Commanders training camp with Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus Commanders reporter Donna Hopkins. So let me not delay what we all came to see. We came to see Miss Donna Hopkins, man. So let's just introduce her right into the show. What's going on, Donna? How you doing?
Happening?
What is going on, Donna? Glad to have you on.
Hey, I was glad to see you out at the Commanders training camp because if people realize that we haven't seen you since the pandemic started.
I know, right?
So it was fun to see you out there. Just let your eyes glaze upon what I've been looking at.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good. It was good to see a lot of familiar faces, man. Some folks weren't there. I was hoping to see some other people, but I'm gonna try to be there in a couple weeks, and so I can see everybody. So but it's always good to see you, Don. I was telling Candy, I was like, man, I'm looking for Donna. Where is Donna here? Like, I haven't seen Donna in forever in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've had you on the show, but I haven't seen you in person in forever because I've seen Candy at Wizard games, right? But I haven't seen you in person in a long time. So it was good to see you and catch up.
Yeah, when I was at Wizards games, you were nowhere to be found. But let me tell you, Wally couldn't find me because I was already on the field scoping out stories.
Oh my God, it was so hot, Donna. Donna, it was so darn hot.
You bought the heat. You bought the heat because.
Oh, Donna, don't do that. Don't do that. Look, I know I'm Nigerian. I come from a hot, climate, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not used to heat. I don't like heat. I'm supposed to be used to it, but I don't like heat. It's not my thing. I won't lie to you. I will not.
I like heat, but not humidity.
That's a whole different beast. Humidity is a whole different beast. So, Donna, we have you on because what I like about you, Donna, is that you keep it 100. There's no bias with you. What you see, you talk about it, and you deliver the point. So let's get into it. There's been 6 days of training camp for the Commanders. You've covered a bunch of Redskin Commander training camps over the years. With this Dan Quinn regime, how does this camp compare to any camp that you covered in the past?
Yeah, I mean, during the early part with the Joe Gibbs and everything, a different kind of camp because they were able to wear pads all the time. So you got to kind of like grasp a hold of this team a lot sooner than what it is now when they can only have pads on. This was the first week that they had pads on. And so you're trying to figure out and navigate about what this team really looks like. But I must say in a long time that this is the first time that I've seen a difference in what the coaches are bringing to the table in getting this team ready, in navigating about various players, because Dan Quinn talked about that they're looking at players in different roles as far as some player may be able to play. Let's just use Jamin Davis as an example. Yeah. They've got him putting his hands in the dirt this year, along with being a linebacker. They want him to practice pass rushing. And then Quan Martin, who played DB last year, he's playing safety this year. He's played both of those positions. I got a chance to talk to him a couple of days ago about his role now. And let me tell you, Dan Quinn loves Quan Martin because he could just see. When he speaks about Quan Martin, he says special. He said that in the OTAs. With Quan just having been switched to safety the last 2 months, and you can just see his development and him, really beaming right now. And he talked about being able to see the field and loving that. And so I think that when you look at what the coaching staff is trying to do with the team, they're trying to find out where each player fits best. And some people that can play multiple positions are going to be valuable for this team, because if injuries happen and they need to have this guy over here, they're able to do that. Now, everybody, Wally, is not going to be able, no matter how much they try them out at various positions, they're not going to fit those positions. They're going to fit right where they are. But this is the thing that I'm seeing, is that the coaches are trying to figure out the best position for each player in building this team to be successful. So they're still weeding through some positions. I haven't even seen Jamin Davis over there with the linebackers, because he's been spending most of his time with the defensive front, over there with Daryl Talley, and learning that position with Ron Kerrigan. So, I think that this is the first time, like I said, in a long time that I've seen a camp be ran properly. Let's just say that. Properly.
Properly. So, Donna, you mentioned Jamin Davis, linebacker. Jamin Davis has been worked, like you said, mentioned with Kerrigan, Ryan Kerrigan, Daryl Tapp. Do you have folks out there reporting that Jamin Davis is in jeopardy of not making this team? First, do you buy that? And secondly, you talk about how he's been practicing with him. How has he looked with Ryan Kerrigan and company?
Well, the thing about it is, I have not. I mean, I heard a little bit in the last day or two, not from the team, not from the coaches or anything like that. This is just people putting together a story and putting things out there that has not been verified by the coaching yet. Well, there's a lot of players that may be up, to as far as not making this team, and some popular names that we know may not make this team, because this team is talented this year. They've got a lot of talent across the board on this team, that some of the receivers that we know, named receivers, may not make this team, and other people across the board may not make this team. Now, Jamin Davis is being highlighted, I think, because he's trying to learn two positions and so forth. It's hard. When I talked to Jamin Davis earlier last week about the role that they've got him playing right now, and is he comfortable? And he said that he's trying to soak up as much as he can. But people got to realize, Wally, going from linebacker to pass rusher is a tough decision. When you look at Dallas did that with Parsons. They basically put his hand in the dirt. Now, those are two different players, totally different players. But Parsons, they were asking him in Dallas to be a pass rusher, also linebacker/linebacker. So he played both positions. So let me just say this. This came from Coach Norton. He said that if you look at what a linebacker looks like, Jamin Davis is the specimen of what you're looking at for a linebacker. He told me that as far as his speed, as far as his length, as far as his body frame. And, Jamin Davis, with the coaching staff that he had in previous years, I asked him, was it, did that staff for his development? And he just said that he looks at it as the fact of moving past all of that. But I'm going to say for Jamin Davis is that it would stifle his development some with those coaches that had him and not pushing and bringing out the best. So I think what people got to realize with Jamin is that they're trying to help him to be a pass rush. And I asked him, I said, well, what is Ron Kerrigan saying about your development there? And he said that he just said, trust your speed. Because if you're to play the edge, well, like Parsons did in Dallas, is that speed is the key. So Jamin has the tools and everything, but again, give him opportunity to learn that position of what it entails. And he's getting a chance to to take some reps over there with that group, with the defensive front with Daryl Talley. But of course, he's not going to be taking a whole bunch because everybody is trying to get their, time in. But
Yeah.
I think that they're gradually trying to work him in. Now, he did say that he's in the classroom, really for both positions, trying to learn
Okay.
that pass rushing position. He knows the linebacker position, but still he's learning what they want him to do there. So,
Mhm.
I mean, this goes back to what Coach Quinn said is that if you can learn two positions, you're going to be more valuable to
So
the
the team.
team
Agreed.
because they're able to keep another roster spot because you can play two positions. So, in fairness to Jamin, it's tough in the position he's in right now at this stage of training camp, trying to learn two positions. So I just say that it's he may be here, maybe not, but they said that they like what they see have in him. It just has to come out,
Yeah.
once he hits the field in games and everything.
No, I agree with you. That's why I want. That's why I asked you that. I want because I know you talk to the coaches and you talk to certain individuals. So you haven't you if something if someone says something to you and you're like, oh, maybe they don't like him. You know what I mean? I know you
Yeah,
would kind of say you would go towards that direction. So that's why I asked you because I felt like it was more of a narrative push to people for what they think they observed rather than going to the sources and getting something that kind of like makes you think, all right, maybe he is on the bubble. You know what I mean? I think I call it a hot take. You know what I mean? A hot take thing that's a kind of that now is a rumor that just spread. Now people think, oh, Jamin's in trouble. But to your point, like I'm glad, yeah, he's trying to learn two different things, two different positions, trying to learn how to play linebacker the right way in a Dan Quinn's offense. Like you said, I felt like the other regime kind of stunted his growth in terms of not utilizing his skill set to the best of his ability. And then now they're trying to utilize that speed to play some pass rushing because his type of speed off the edge could be very special if cultivated correctly. So they see that. But I'm glad that you said that Coach Norton said if you're looking to scope a linebacker, Jamin Davis is a perfect specimen. So I just think that like people should listen to that too as well. When you have Ken Norton Jr., who's in his era one of the best linebackers in the NFL. When he played with the Cowboys, when he played with the Niners, he was a very good linebacker in his time. So he knows linebacker position. He coached him in Seattle too. Bobby Wagner is one of the people he coached up. So like you see, you got a guy who's done that before and talking about Jamin that way because he didn't have to say that about Jamin Davis, but he did.
no.
So that shows you something.
And Ron Kerrigan also said that, hey, Jamin, you got all the tools.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the tools to be a good pass rusher. He
Yeah.
told Jamin, you just have to trust and do it. It's up to you. I mean, I think that you got to get out of your own head and
Mm-hmm.
trust the fact that, hey, I have the speed. I've just got to go and do it. So it's a lot to take in with two positions, and you get
Yeah.
over there and you got to do it within the reps that they're giving you. But let me just say this every time I look after practice is over, who is he walking off the field with? A Bobby Wagner, and he was saying that
Yeah. That's
they
perfect.
go out top golf and all that trying to get that chemistry, and then he's walking off with Daryl Talley,
That's perfect.
and Ryan Kerrigan.
That's perfect.
So you can tell that Jamin is trying to do his part in soaking it all up, asking questions. What am I doing wrong? What do I need to do more of? So I think that you have to look at the process. Will he be here on the roster? I don't know, but he's putting in the work to try to be the best that he possibly can with what they given him. So I'm going to be asking Coach Quinn on down the line, and I did ask him about how Jamin was coming along
Uh,
too, and I think that they like of what they're seeing in his development. Does he have to get better? Of course.
of
Does he
course.
have a lot of time? No. But guess what? Do you want to lose a player that you see that can be helpful for this team? And we
Mm-hmm.
know it's limited spaces, roster spaces.
Yeah.
But if he grasps a hold of this during these preseason games and so forth, he may make a case for himself why he needs to be on this roster. So this squad scrimmage coming up against the Jets is going to be so key for a lot of players. But let's talk about the linebacker position right there.
Talk about it. Yeah, go for it.
He's not gonna. The reason why he's not over there with the linebackers, and they're loaded there. This is the first time, and I've been telling you, Wally, that this has been one of the weakest areas, the weakest link on this team
for years.
It's been a broken chain for so long, but finally, when you look at that linebacker group, and I paid attention to, I haven't even really looked at the offense a lot. I spent the first week looking at the defense, soaking that in, the defensive line with Johnny Newton that came there. And this is the fastest lineman for this team. Coach Quinn talked about just John Allen and how great he looks and how explosive he is. He's lost weight.
He's healthier too.
And he said once he put on those pads, it was a different story for John Allen, even more so. So when you look at that defensive line, you're like, ooh, wow, this is going to be nice. And the way Daryl Talley is coaching them up. And so the linebacker position, when you talk about Jeremy Chin and Luvu and Wagner and even more names to that, some of the younger guys, Andre Collins and some of the other guys that they drafted last year, you got a whole scope of linebackers that you can work with. So that's the reason why I think they're looking at Jamin as being, hey, you know what? We may be able to use him as a pass rusher over here versus some of the other linebackers in the position. So for the first time, they are strong. And, the players are telling me, Michael Davis, 8-year veteran, he said, watch out because we're going to be, all I'm telling you, this is what Michael Davis told me. Yeah. All I'm telling you is we're going to be special. Just wait and see. And so, the cornerback position is one that I still have a little question mark because the safety with Quan Martin, I think what you got right there is going to be really special as far as this guy. Benjamin St. Juice, how they utilize him is going to be key this year also. Yeah. He had a drop off. He's got to stay healthy. But I think that he wasn't used right with past coaches. They had him all over the place.
It's true.
And I think that once they figure out that this is where you belong, Benjamin, I think that he will excel in that position. Emmanuel Forbes, still think he needs to put on some weight.
He got bigger though. He got a little bigger. Yeah, more weight.
Hey, Wally.
I mean, he's a cornerback. They're not supposed to be like huge or nothing. Like,
they're not supposed to be where the wind will blow you away either. Come on, Wally.
He been eating. Let's just give him credit. At least he been in the kitchen. He been eating.
Hey, Wally, how much has he been in the kitchen? Okay, so if he weighed 150, what do you weigh now? 158. So
he bought at least a good. You put on more than that. I think he put on a good 15 pounds. You see his arms, His arms are like.
Maybe his arms. I can't see it in his.
You
legs.
Can't he ain't God now. He can't choose where the weight go.
Hey, Wally, he better get some of that Southern cooking. But they got to figure out how they're using him also.
Yeah, I agree.
He's got to step up too. This is a key year for him also because the area of cornerback is one that the Commanders have to get better. Hey, they say he's talking about he put on 15
pounds. I told you on 15 pounds.
Hey, well, what is that? TV weight? So
I'm just saying, like it's in his arm. I'm telling you, it's in his arm.
Arms don't weigh no 15 pounds. It's in his
arm. You can a little bit. I know we need to have a before after picture.
Don't weigh 15 pounds.
I know, but we need to have before. We need to get a before after picture, Donna, so we can kind of like gauge it.
I'm gonna pull that picture together and send you. I'm taking pictures tomorrow. I took pictures of him before, but I still think that he has to get stronger too because when he goes up against Brown and some of the bigger receivers and everything, it's physical and he's going to get pushed around. I saw him get pushed around a lot, but I think that they may utilize him a little bit differently because of his size and so forth. But I think that the back of the defense, it's going to, like they said, it's going to be special, but I want to be able to see them, go up against the Jets and the Dolphins and some of those preseason games where you can gauge a little bit about facing another opponent and that quarterback and so forth. So I think that the defense, we were talking about the defense last year was supposed to be the strength of this team. I think you really can say that this year, that between the linebackers, the defensive front, and look at Wally smiling all big. But I think they're going to be better because they're going to be coached better.
You know what? I'm with you, Donna, but you know what? No, only reason why I side like that is because we say this every year. Donna, like
but Wally, what was the coaches last year?
I know we say this about the D line every year, though, Donna. That's be getting me. I mean, I'm with you. I think they could. I think it should. I'm Donna for real talk. I think the coach it. I'm trying to have my expectations real low. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I do trust Dan Quinn, because Dan Quinn's track record is amazing. Him as a defensive coach, forget being a head coach, but as a defensive minded coach, it's a good track record. Like everywhere he's gone, he's changed the defensive culture. You could say this. He did it in Seattle. He did it in Atlanta, and he did it in Dallas. He's changed the culture defensively. So I'm with you. I'm just like, when it comes to this team, I got to see it in a scrimmage, and I got to see it. I ain't even saying this team in scrimmage, because I remember last year, like against the Ravens, everybody said their defense is great against the Ravens. So I want to see it. I want to see the regular season.
Talk to me. You must not talk to me.
I know. I ain't talking to you. That's true. I ain't talking to you. I ain't talking to you.
You must not talk to me when they play the Ravens. But but
that's true though, Don. I ain't talking to you. You're right. I ain't talking.
Yeah, to you. You got it, because I would have told you the truth. But you got to give this team a edge, a little bit more edge this year than in the past, because I'm more confident in this defense this year than last year. Because let me tell you, the coaching staff from Ken Norton, from Daryl Tapp to Joe Witt.
I'm with you.
You know, and then you got Dan Quinn also, as far as the defensive-minded coach. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that when I look at the drills and the stuff that they're doing, and you know, because when you do a drill, it's not just doing a drill to go through a drill, but it's drills like game time drills.
I got you.
So I'm seeing the difference in how they're coming off the ball, even in practice, and the technique. They're teaching them different technique of how to properly get around players and have different moves and everything. That's the reason why I said that I see a difference in the defense, because I see them coming off the ball different. I see them, as far as, you know, as Tony always says, that a defensive edge rusher has to have different moves. It can't just be one move. You know, it can't be just one spin and all that. But I'm watching them teach these guys how to properly get their hand in the dirt, as far as drive their bodies forward. And then I was watching Witt the other day at practice with the safeties and the defensive backs, and when he was going through some of the drills and everything, he stopped them on the dime and pointed out what they were doing wrong. He said, now that's how a man does it. That's how a man plays. He was calling out people, and I was looking like, man, I'm about to stand up and go over there and give you high five. because the thing about it is, so many times coaches, they just let the guys go by and do the wrong thing over and over. But what they're doing this year, I think that is key, is from the classroom to the walkthrough to the next day putting it into action. They're looking at things that were done wrong, walking through to make sure people understand the process, and then coming out and putting it in there. Now, they had a rough day of practice on both the offense and the defensive side of the ball when they first had on the pads. I was like, woo! I said, both sides look shaky.
They did. I went Donna. It looked one. I was like, did I miss something? Because this don't look good.
It was like scrappy do that day, as far as on both sides. I mean, from interceptions to just bad play. But I thought they got better at close to the close of practice. It started clicking a little bit, and maybe that. I heard Terry walk by one time and said, "Woo, having those pads on is different than having them out." That's the reason why I believe that they should have on pads more than the bargaining agreement says, because the players and teams are so far behind when they don't have pads on. I mean, you asked me what was the difference from training camps early that I've been to to now. It's because when they had on pads, it was game time situation. That when the season came, you were game ready.
You're
I
ready for
think
it.
that now, because they don't have pads on, it's 3 games into the season before you see everybody gets up to football speed.
Crazy. So Don, I know everybody want to talk about, the rookie quarterback, Jaden
Yes,
Daniels.
come on, come on.
Everybody, they want. Hey, look, man, we've heard a lot of reports. He looks good. He looks great. He looks amazing. I need the real. I come to you for the real. I don't come for you for like PC stuff. I come to you for like the real stuff. In terms of what you've seen of him in training camp, um, has he looked like he's owned the starting job? Has he looked like that guy? What does he look like to you in terms of a guy that to be the quarterback this season? Because you've seen guys in the past. You've seen Griffin in training camp. You've seen Kirk Cousins in training camp. You've seen other quarterbacks. You've seen Super Bowl winners in camp. In terms of this camp, where would you stack Jaden Daniels' performance right now, and how do you look like he's coming along?
Yeah, I think that people need to realize that he is a rookie quarterback. I know he's got the accuracy, and that's point on. I mean, I think he's accurate in a lot of his throws and everything. But you got to remember that he's got to learn a whole bunch of things of what defenses are going to do. I mean, he knows this defense because he's practiced with them. But when you go up against somebody that you know nothing about, and they're going to be throwing things at you, and I get it that this defense under Dan Quinn and that group is going to throw things at him to make him to have him better prepared.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to help him a lot. But I think that he is coming along.
Good.
That's what I want to say. He's
Great.
coming along. He's not a Peyton Manning or any of those guys right there, Tom Brady, or Russell Wilson right off the bat and everything. I think
Mm-hmm.
that you're seeing some glimpse of how good he can be,
Okay,
but I
good.
think that you're seeing some things that he has to still figure out in the red zone where it gets to be tight down there. He's got to, as Dan Quinn said, he's got to know when or what to throw, as far as reading this. And this is an example I'm going to give you. Bobby Wagner that is so skilled and so much has been able to help Jaden Daniels a
That's
lot.
great.
And even Jaden said that is that Bobby is reading him right off the bat. He knows what he's going to do, what Jaden Daniel is going to do. And
Mm-hmm.
so what he's going back to tell him said, man, I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to do this and whatever, but this is what
Mm-hmm.
you want to do to disguise it a little bit more. So I think with Jaden's learning, and this is going to come is he's got to be able to disguise what he's going to do a little bit better, because a veteran like a Bobby Wagner and some of the ones across the league is going to be able to read him and pick him off quick. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that in the red zone, he's got to get a little sharper. And I've seen him thread the ball into some tight areas, but that may not be there,
Mm-hmm.
because the defense may disguise what they're going to do and then shift. And then the next thing you know, the ball is picked out.
Yeah.
So I think that he is coming and along, and that he's probably where he should be at this stage of grasping different things at different times. So he may be able to say, "Oh, I got that, and I'm a little better there, but now I
Mm-hmm.
got to get better over here in this area." And Mariota has struggled also too
Of
during
course, he's
camp.
Mariota. You better
And
struggle. He ain't that good. You better
and
struggle.
he's a veteran, but he's been able to help Jayden also. So I think in reality that he's not the went out there and said, "Whoa, this is just great. I'm doing everything." Because he'll be quickly to say, even Jayden to say, is I still learning. I'm still grasping the defense. I'm still grasping the offense, because under Kingsbury's offense is that he's going to be throwing to receivers. He's going to be throwing to the tight ends, the wide receivers. So it's going to be a mix of players that he's got to be able to quickly read that and move on or go through his progression. So I think that the things that they want him to learn at this stage, he's picking up. He's got to get better in some areas. But I think that he's right where he's at. I'm not going to go so high, and I'm definitely he's not down at the bottom,
Of course not.
but
Yeah.
I think that he's right there in the middle as far as continuously developing, his skill sets of just reading the defense, soaking in what Bobby Wagner and some of the other people are doing, or jumping and showing him how to navigate through those things is going to be valuable in moving him along.
Yeah, like Paul said, he just had to play. Has to play. Has to
He
play.
just got to play. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
The more he plays, and that scrimmage, that inner scrimmage against the Jets and the Dolphins is going to be key for him, especially the Jets first one, because I think that he's going to be able to go up against another team's defense, what they're trying to do, and so forth. And the more he plays, that's just like anybody in any sports. The more you do this, the more it becomes familiar, because even from college to the pros is totally different. People, what you did in the pros and what they, that you were able to do in college, what you were able to do in college is a different ball game in the NFL, because you're going up against veteran defensive players, veteran defensive coordinators that are going to throw all kind of twists and turns at you. But the more he sees these things, the better he'll be able to navigate through it. He's got the arm, make no bones about that. We'll finally be able to see somebody get the ball down the field to receivers and accuracy as far as accurately. Yeah. So I think he's got that, but it's just the other little tweaks and fine-tuning things that go into being an NFL quarterback.
So what impresses you the most about him? Is it his accuracy?
Yeah, I think so. And I think that as far as him just soaking up, asking questions about, picking Bobby Wagner's head and other people, and that he's always willing to learn, go back into the classroom, study it even more. If he did something wrong, or or threw an interception or threw a bad pass, he's going back into the classroom to figure out, okay, what should I have done in that situation? So I think it's just his willingness to learn and navigate through this that impresses me, and his maturity in the quarterback. And he's playing loose, and he demands as the players, offensive linemen, and the receivers, running backs tell me, is that he commands the huddle. I mean, that he's confident there, so I think that he's got all the right tools to be a good quarterback because of his attitude.
So my man Paul has a question. He says, first is, man, they cut Dax and brought back up Pringle. He adds his question is, Donna, why did they bring back Pringle? What do you think?
I think that they're still trying to navigate through the receiving core and everything, because beyond Terry and Jahan and those guys, they're still trying to fine tune who's going to be those guys that step forward. I mean, they've got some veteran guys in there that they signed and everything. I just talked to, I'm looking at number 14.
You saw the one from Atlanta. I keep saying this. I know we talked about him.
Yeah. OZ. He told me, I told him I butchered his name, so he told me just say OZ.
They call him OG. That's what we're gonna go with. OG.
Yeah, and so
it starts with a Z. It starts with a Z though. His last name starts with a Z. I just can't say it.
Don't butcher it. Just say OG.
Yeah, OG. Let's call him OG.
Number 14. So that you won't butcher his name. Like I was messing with him when I interviewed him, and I said, he said, try it. I was like, no, because I know I ain't gonna get it. And I've been practicing to make sure that I say the name, but I gotta think too hard to say it right now, so I'm gonna leave it. Zakisi. Was it Zakisi or
Zachary? Don't know what? Just keep going, Don.
I know. I'm about to get myself in trouble. But
I ain't trying to say it.
He said, look. Wally said, you just better say what he said, OZ. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
He OG.
But I think that having him on the team, because like he said, hey, I'm I brought here to score touchdowns and so forth. And this is a guy that's played well. I watched him last week, this week, and he's catching balls. I mean, he's catching balls, and he's getting open for them to find him. And like the coaches said, Jahan Dotson, he's the best route runner. I mean, this is a guy that, can utilize him, that, everybody got to step up. And De'Ami Brown, everybody was saying, about he has to step up also. Well, guess what? The other day he stepped up
I knew he would.
because he made some catches and everything. Because when you look across the board of the receivers, and then you say, why did they bring these other guys up? Because it's still question mark as far as them keeping 5 or 6 receivers, and some guys have to. They had Jahan back there catching punts, kickoffs.
Oh, for
And
real?
yeah, well,
He
and
can
then
do
they
it
had
though.
look, they had Austin Eckler. They don't even let us watch special teams because with the new kickoff rule and all of that,
Hmm.
they kind of like keep everything quiet as far as the special teams. We can't record that. But they got a number, and I asked Dan Quinn about the special teams, and he said that they're still navigating through who those guys are going to be back there. But some guys have emerged, but I'm telling you, big names is back there, not the ones that you wouldn't expect back there, but a Eckler back there, a Jahan Dotson, but these guys have done it before, so nobody is without saying that. Hey, they said they're utilizing everybody in various positions. So most of the time they say, "Ooh, we got to protect him because he's our running back." But I haven't even said nothing about the running back group because let me tell you, they are going to be solid. If Eckler can stay healthy and
Yeah,
everything,
I liked him that day. I thought he looked good the day the
he
day I was
he
out there.
not only that, running the ball and catching the ball out the
Yeah,
backfield. He's been solid. He's been a great addition to that backfield. And Brian Robinson has looked great too.
yeah.
I mean, that him staying healthy too. Anthony Lynn said that if these guys and then Rodriguez, but those two, your 1-2 is going to be solid because you can tell the difference in Brian Robinson's style of running now, the things that they tweaked about his running and what they want from him. You can tell it in there. So I think running back wise, and let me tell you, we've been saying, can they run the ball? Can they stop passing the ball 100 times? And can they run the ball a little bit? Well, you're going to see them run the ball a lot more this year than they had in the previous years. And what the way that Anthony Lynn has really navigated through that backfield. It's going to be something special to watch this year because it's going to help Jayden Daniels also if they can
Of
run the
course.
ball to take some of the pressure off of him. But tight end wise, these guys got to step up. I mean, the Cole Turners, the John Bates. Coach Quinn talked about the fact that he saw some glimpse out of him. They're going to utilize them as blockers, but they're going to use those guys also as pass receivers. But John Bates, I'm just saying, in a couple of the practice the last few days, he's seen him step up more so than we saw the other because this is a guy
Did he?
that
Okay.
everybody projected. They said, look, this is going to be a great guy. Well, we hadn't seen that. Wally,
Who
we
you talking
hadn't
about? Sano?
seen that.
You talking about the rookie?
No, Bates, John
Man,
Bates.
I ain't see. I don't see. Donna, I don't like. I mean, I'm not. You know what? I told myself I'm not gonna be overly negative. So John
No,
Bates,
because you know what? It's
because he's
again.
not, because he blocks. Because this is my. He's a good blocker. He is a good blocker. Like he
But I
is.
saw some passes that he caught that he
He
went
does
out
that,
and
but Donna,
stretched out.
like he'll look good like in camp and stuff. He'll cut in preseason, but he drops passes though. Like
Hey,
he has a
Wally, what
body
did
of
I
work.
say? I
I'm
don't, I
with you.
don't, I don't associate nothing with camp. It's when the game
That's why I'm
situation.
agreeing with you. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but
Like normally, yeah.
I'm just saying that at least we saw some glimpse of. We
Oh,
didn't see
okay.
that in practice before.
Yeah,
We
it's
didn't see
true.
that last year. And Cole Turner, I think this is another guy that
I
is
like him though.
huge
I've
and
always liked
big.
Cole.
Let
I'm
me
biased.
tell you, he can
Biased.
stretch out and get the ball. But some of the Senate has been dropping a lot of balls
All right,
lately.
so Donna, talk about that real quick. Like, can you talk about that because he's the one that everybody thinks is going to be like. I mean, Zach Ertz is Zach Ertz. He looks good. That's the vet.
Yeah,
But
I didn't mention his name because we
Zach
already
Ertz, yeah,
know.
because you already know. But like, he's supposed to be the guy that people are looking like. All right, you're supposed to take the place of Zach Ertz because Zach Ertz is on a 1 year deal. I saw the drop. I was like, okay, like because I heard it. I saw somebody tweet about it prior, and I was like, oh, that's okay. It's can't whatever. People drop passes every once in a while. But then I saw again, it was an easy pass. He dropped it. So like he really has the drops in camp. Like he really drops passes
Yes,
like that.
yes. And I think that he's just got to be comfortable in going out there and catching the ball. Ain't nothing different. And like some of you, like you said, some of the balls are easy that
Yeah.
they're right in your hands. And one was in the end zone that I saw him. It hit him right here in the chest, but you got to get the hands ready to catch the ball. Now, I don't know how hard it was thrown because I wasn't out there, but to catch that ball. But I think that he's had more drops than you would have thought that he would have had, at this stage. But some of the other guys are stepping up as far as that. Amani Tooman, I haven't heard so much about Amani Rogers. I'm sorry, Amani Rogers. Nobody is talking much about him. I haven't seen him do much there, but he's coming off of his injury and so forth. But again, the tight end position is going to be a key one, because let's just say if Hurts, he's an older guy and so forth. So you want to build that tight end room where they're solid, and I haven't seen that materialize quite yet. So I'm waiting to see in some of the preseason games, what they've got right there. But yeah, and then I'm gonna hop over to the offensive line, which to me is my biggest concern.
How does Ricky look? How does Brandon Coleman look? How does he look?
I think Brandon Coleman is coming along. I think he's going to be okay. They've got him playing guard and tackle. I think he's solid. I mean, I can't say any more about him. I think that he's going to grasp a hold. I don't know how he's going to be at the tackle because that's not his true position. But again, that's one of these guys that they said that they're looking at. Now he's played some tackle before, but
he's playing college.
So he's played both positions. So that's what the coaches are looking for, players that can play multiple positions. So it's not like he's being thrown into a position that he's never played before. So I think that he's going to be okay. I mean, I was like, well, his true position is guard. That's where he's solid at. But guess what? When people go down, you can switch him over here. So I think the offensive line may be a little better than we may be giving them credit for. I'm still got question marks though. But I've seen some flashes of some guys. It's some diamond in the roughs that may emerge on the offensive line. Now, do they need to still get some more depth? Absolutely. Because you got to be able, because I saw a couple of the plays when they were in pads and the defense was putting the pressure up front. I was like, sack. I saw it too. Sack. So that's what I'm saying is that it's still a concern for me, the offensive line, but I think they do have some solid players there, and it may be some diamonds that emerge in the next few weeks and so forth. And I think they're still trying to figure out, placing players at different areas to see what they've got there. But I did see them, get pushed around a little bit when that defense was putting, when they turned it up 3 notches.
Oh, I saw it.
And I was like, and like I said, it would have been about at least 3 or 4 sacks there.
No, I saw it. I saw it. I saw it on Monday. I was like, yeah. They would sack these dudes a bunch of times if it wasn't for it being camp. And you couldn't touch the quarterback. And you can't touch the quarterback,
And the good thing is the NFL officials will be out there, I think, tomorrow, and you'll be able. I mean, they had officials out there before, but the NFL officials will be out there, which is helping them navigate through that new kicking rule. But I think it's going to help them because there was a lot of Dan Quinn was asked about the flags that are coming out, and he said that that's something that they got to correct because I saw people jumping off sides. I was like, oops. That would have been a flag that came out. So I think on the offensive side of the ball, they're still working through that offensive line. I think Kingsbury's offense is going to be a good offense. It's going to be one that utilizes a lot of people. It's going to be one up-tempo offense also. But I think that they still have to, still the quarterbacks are coming along. That's the reason why nobody is projected as the starter right now. Everybody knows that hopefully it's or that it probably is going to be Jay Daniels. But I wouldn't throw nobody out there as the starter right now either because I would still, navigate like they're doing in using both of these guys, getting the reps and so forth, getting them comfortable even though Mariota has been there, but he still got to get comfortable with, the offense and the players around him and building that chemistry from the offensive line to the running backs, the wide receivers, tight ends, and so forth. And I still think that they are putting all those pieces together.
So Don, real quick, who would you, if you had to say, who do you feel is having the best camp so far? I know it's only been 6 days of camp, but who do you
Quan
feel?
Martin.
Ooh, I like that one. I like
Quan
that.
Martin.
I like that, Donna. I like that. That's somebody
solid.
folks ain't talking about enough. I like that.
Yeah, I would say that he's having a solid camp. Being moved to the safety. Now he said he's comfortable with that because he's played it all his life.
That's what he should have been playing. No, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm not going
to but even still being that is that you could see the difference with him playing that position and the comfort he has. And like I said, Dan Quinn said it's special what he's seeing from this guy. So I would say that I've been looking at him. I would say that he's having a solid camp right now from OTAs, even back in OTAs. And I would say that the linebackers are, that group right there. I'm not going to pull out any names and everything because I saw Chin and Frankie.
Yeah, I heard Chin looking too.
I saw Chin. I was like, woo. I was like, what a play. A couple of plays. So I would say that, the linebacker area is one that I think that's doing well. But one particular player, I would say that he stood out to me as far as Quan Martin.
Okay.
Not that other people haven't.
No, I'm just saying like who's been the best. It's not like you're not dissing anybody.
I would say Quan Martin.
Yeah. Dujane said Lake said the same thing on his show on Monday. There's Quan Martin. My man
think alike.
Exactly. My man Paul has said, what about number 89 receiver Bryce Tremaine?
Oh, I'm glad that you mentioned him because I was thinking about him. I just didn't bring his name up because I was trying to think about him. Now, the other day I watched him play and the catches, he stretched out for one ball that was thrown to him. And I mean, he really had to stretch out and grab that ball. He made 2 back-to-back catches. So he's played well. So so that's another guy that you better keep your eye on that might push somebody out because he's making the most of his opportunity. And the other day, Tuesday, I saw him make some big plays, catches with the ball. And the one that everybody, even Terry, you just saw the receivers after he made that catch. They was like, oh my gosh, everybody was saying, man, he went out and got that ball, stretched out and got the ball and pulled it down.
That's dope. So real quick, Shelly on X said, I'm biased, but of course what she said, she feels like it's Terry, and I've heard nothing but good things about Jaden Daniels. My man DH said the entire team is having a great camp. A camp without Ron Rivera at the helm is a great camp. And my man Cam said the 2 rookies, Jaden Daniels and Brandon Coleman. And you said good things about both players as well. Before I let you go, Donna, I do want to ask about, you mentioned, now I feel like I forgot. Please don't say I forgot. Okay, yeah, receivers. I'm sticking with receivers. You mentioned all receivers, like you mentioned Diami, you mentioned Jahan, you mentioned Terry. But how is the rookie looking, McCaffrey? How is he looking out there, Luke McCaffrey? Does he look like one of those guys, or he again is trying to find his way?
Well, I think that, during the OTAs, he put himself in position, came in early, with Jaden Daniels soaking up the playbook and so forth. They like him. I think that, he comes from a successful family. But I think that he's doing the things to make his name be known, to make this roster. He's making catches. He, as far as I can see, got a chance to talk to him about things that he feels that he needs to work on. Where does he see himself now? And he's just saying that he's trying to get better every day. So I think he's going to be on this team because that's another guy that's back there for kickoffs and punts and everything that they're going to utilize a little bit. So everybody, the more you can be back there, Jamin, what's the veteran 80,
Oh,
Jamison
Crowder. Yeah,
Crowder.
Crowder. Yeah,
So
Crowder.
I didn't even mention Jamison
He's
Crowder,
looked
but
good
he's
too. He
out
looked
there
good when I
too.
was there too. He looked
Yeah,
good.
Jamison Crowder. I mean,
He looked
this is a
good.
veteran guy that was here, long time ago with this Commanders team under various coaches. And the thing about Jamison Crowder is that he's a return kickoff, so he
Yeah,
ain't going nowhere.
yeah, he can do it.
Because
He can
that's
do it.
so that's one of the guys also that's going to be probably on this roster. So who gets pushed out? So
Mhm.
everybody, this preseason games and all of that. McCaffrey, I see him
He's
probably
good.
being on this team.
He's a draft pick.
I don't know as far as how he's going to be utilized and so forth. But Diami, I think, is one of the guys that really has to show up big for the next. And they like him too. They
They do
like
like
his
him. I heard.
skill
Yeah, I
set.
heard that.
But I think that Diami, we haven't been able to really see the skill sets, his talent, because he's really talented.
Yeah,
And he's a big receiver. But I think that, with everybody, all the pieces, everybody's trying to get the ball. Sometimes you got to go up and be the one that makes sure that every practice the coach is saying something great about you,
true, true.
and saying something like I just said about the catch that Bryce made. Is that's what you want to see as far as De'Ami Brown, and he did step up the other day, and
Hmm.
you saw him catch some big balls.
That's good. That's good. Hey, Donna. Well,
And
thanks
I
for
think
being.
he had been quiet before then,
Yeah,
but I think that he's realizing that, oh man, I better kind of like make sure my name is being called every
yeah,
day.
yeah. Paul said I agree with Paul here. Diami is perfect for Cliff's offense. I think
Yeah,
he's the perfect match for Cliff's offense. To be honest with you.
I think
Hey,
so too.
yeah, I do. I do. Hey, Donna. Before I let you go, how can folks catch your content? How can they? How can they catch you on social media as
Hey,
well?
let
I
me
know it's
tell
inside
you
job.
all, if you need to go to the podcast in the minute,
There you go.
and also on Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus link on YouTube. Both are on YouTube because I have great interviews with various players throughout
Awesome.
training camp. So if you want to know what some key players from Michael Davis to Quan Martin, I mean the list goes
You
on and
got
on.
McGee too, right? You
Yeah,
got
Tony McGee's Pro Football
no,
Plus.
not McGee. The rookie, I'm sorry, not McGee. Not Tony McGee. The linebacker, 58. It's McGee, right? You interviewed him.
Yes, McGee. I got
Yeah,
McGee. So
yeah,
that's the reason I said the list goes on, but
yeah. You got a lot. Yeah.
it's some
Mhm.
great contents out there. If you want to know the players a little bit more of what they're saying, go to the podcast in the minute, and also Tony McGee's Pro Football Plus show. And every once in a while, I'll throw a little bit of a tease on to drive you there. And make sure, like Wally said, push that button and like
So
so
and
that you can
subscribe everything
and
for everything.
subscribe. I mean, subscribe because if you want to stay updated for all the latest stuff from the players and so forth,
Yeah,
you will want to subscribe.
you do because she got them all, man. I seen her interview Chin. I saw that up close. I saw like she talked about Jordan McGee. I saw that video online. Donna's getting good questions in and good lengthy discussions with these individuals. So I'm just saying, if you want to, you might want to go to no, not might. You should be going to that channel and
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 I
doing right by
only
yourself.
tell the truth.
That's the one. And Donna. I'm not saying this because you're on the show. I've said this to some of these folks in the chat. That's the one thing I like about Donna. And I like all the other, like everybody else that I have on the show. One thing I like about Donna don't sugarcoat it. She's not disrespectful, but she don't sugarcoat it. Like there's no, oh, I ain't trying to. She'll tell you, like, I'm like, I may say, I like the offense. He'll be like, nah, I don't like him. I don't like that quarterback. He ain't accurate enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he like I remember Carson Wentz. I was like, I was like, yo, I like Carson. Donna was like, I don't see it. I think Carson done. I was like, all right,
I
yeah,
said they should never have gotten him.
exactly. And then Donna ended up being right because I was looking at old Carson. Donna was looking at new Carson. I was like, Donna, you're right.
Yeah,
Donna don't lie, man. I'm too cute a buck. If Donna don't,
yeah.
if you could be the best thing to slice bread, if you ain't showing Donna in practice or in camp or in scrimmages, she'll say like, I don't know about him.
But I also tell the truth about if I saw
If
great
they
things.
good, no, you do. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's not negative. It's honest. It's honest opinion. It's an honest assessment. Like I want to say opinion. It's an honest assessment. Like if somebody's killing it, you'll say like you said, Jacoby Brissett was good, look good, and then you saw like it's not like You said Jacoby looked good, like you said that. So it's not. And then when he got an opportunity, he looked good as a starter when he
And then
played over Howe.
all of a sudden they said he was hurt. I don't know about if he was ever
See,
true,
I'm
but
just
I'll leave
saying.
it alone.
I'm just saying that you're all, like when you say something is good or like not say bad, but you have your questions, you put it out there. So that's what I'm saying. You're fair.
Yeah, I try to, and that's the thing about the contents on when I interview the players
Yeah.
is that I'm giving you what the players say, not what I said.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that what my key thing is for people to get to know the players a little bit better of what they're saying, what they think about their games, and they're honest.
Yeah.
They're definitely honest about where they feel that they are. They're not trying to sugarcoat it or anything like that. But Michael Davis did say it's going to be something special to watch. And also, Derek Force told me that months ago that they not telling me a lot, but they just said just wait and see. So I'm waiting and see it.
Yeah, he may not even start though, so that's a sad thing. But Quan may
Hey,
have
but
his
you know
job.
what? He'll still be on the team.
Well, well, he may start. Actually, I take that back. No, he won't.
Yeah,
Chin started. No, Chin and Quan probably will start. No.
yeah, but I mean, you got to when you look at the depth, Wally,
Yeah.
you should have to be happy because you didn't have that depth at those positions and
I
everything.
agree. No, I
So
agree. And I think
because
they're
of you got, it's no fall off. This is the thing that people got to realize. What
mm-hmm.
Dan Quinn is building for this team is that whether you are the starter, second, 3 and 4, there will be no fall off because everybody will know what one is doing so that if they get in there, it's no fall off. So that's what I'm most impressed about with this team
Mm-hmm.
is that you're not going to have a fall off when you go on down the line because they're going to have these guys ready to jump in and not look like they're lost in space.
Yeah, hopefully. I agree. I do think, what I like that is Dan Quinn is coaches up safeties pretty well. He's gonna I think they're gonna do a great job with this unit. All right, Don. I think I kept you on too long. I know
That's
that.
all right. That's
You
all
know what I
right. Well,
mean? Yeah.
because I don't get to talk to you much. I mean, you had to come out to practice for me to get back on and talk.
I know, right? I know that's right.
Hey fans, you see how he does me? How he do me? You see how he does me? What does me. I'm not even talking good English.
Hey Donna, I told you, look,
That's
Donna,
what
I
makes him.
ain't gonna
He
like.
does me.
Donna, you one person I've missed, like going to games or going to camp. Like you're one person I've missed. I'm not gonna lie. Like I used to enjoy when I used to cover games and go in the press, but like just to talk to you and sit and chat with you. You're one of my favorites.
He used to be in my ear, so it was good to turn around and chat and whatever. I was like, no, did you see that? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it was cool. I'm glad because when we linked up at camp, I was like, all right, I see what you're talking about. I'm not going to like divulge what we were talking about, but we're talking about the actual folks practicing. I was like, yeah, you're right. I see what you're talking about.
But
Like,
Wally, it was good to finally see you back out there again.
appreciate it. It was good. It was good being out there. Luckily I'll probably be back in a couple weeks. So, and right before but I should be there right before the Jets game. The Jets is next, right?
Yeah, the Jets.
Right before the not Miami game, like when they're right before they head out for like their little practice session, and then the game. So I'll be there that week.
I won't be there because I'll be at.
Yeah, I know. I ain't trying to say. I know. I ain't want to get your business out there.
That's all right, fans. I'm going to cover other sports.
I ain't gonna put your business out there.
That's all right. I'm going to cover. I'll be there. I'll be there covering the Commanders and whatever. But just a quick break to cover the Olympics in Paris.
Oh my God, that's so dope, man. Well, Donna, enjoy it. Have a good time. Pack well. You know what I'm saying? All right, thanks again.
USA.
Yeah, go USA, man. Go USA. Yeah, that's true. Go USA. I was gonna say Nigeria too, but we don't got a good team.
I click you off for that. Go USA.
I know. Go USA. Yes, right.
Nothing else but USA.
Yes. Go Simone by, but go Simone. You know what I mean? She did a great job.
Go USA.
Yeah, that's it. Go USA. I'm with it. All right, Don.
Everybody, USA.
All right, Donna, take it easy. All right.
See you all.
Bye. Oh man, Donna's awesome, man. I love Donna. Hey y'all, man. This has been a great show. Always great to have Donna on, man. It's Always great. It's always good vibes having Donna on. I won't even lie. It's always great vibes. That was another comment just popped in. Wole, what's that? Wole, you need to set up a call in a post game show. You know what? I may try to do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? We get calls. I may do on a post game show. I may do calls. They said StreamYard could do it now, so y'all may get me on like that type stuff. I won't lie. So if I can get calls, because somebody told me they can do calls on StreamYard. So that's the thing. Yeah, Paul, definitely. We'll get a call in. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, time to end the show. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Before I end this show, I just want to make sure I reiterate what I talked about earlier. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, said this earlier, help us get to 800. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe, hit that red subscribe button, like this video, try and get to 800. Do whatever you gotta do to jump up the algorithm. I don't know what it needs to be done, but make sure you do what needs to be done to jump the algorithm so we can get to 800. Appreciate y'all for that. When y'all do that, I'm saying thank you in advance. Also, check out the Urban Sports Scene website at check out the home of the Urban Sports Scene, which is our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. You can also find us on Empire Media, which is empiremedia.com. That website is run by Bram Weinstein, you know, obviously voice of the Commanders. So yeah, make sure you follow, you know, you subscribe, you check us out there on empiremedia.com. All right, y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Y'all been dope. Paul, appreciate you, man. Homie, I'm gonna see if I can make that call thing happen, bro. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. You dig? Deuces. Hey, folks, appreciate y'all. Much love, man. We out.